From cool Miami Vice cops, Crockett and Tubbs, to slapstick sleuth, Frank Drebin of the Naked Gun series, pop culture is filled with iconic police characters. And while you may be familiar with many of the police officers on the big and small screens, you may not know that there are some well-known celebrities who have done police work in small towns and major cities across the country. Some of these stars credit their characters with inspiring them to don the badge. Others left dangerous police work behind to pursue a career in show business. But what all of these celebrities have in common is a respect for law enforcement and a desire to help people. These celebrities have worked side by side with law enforcement to keep our streets safe from crime. Shaquille O'Neal. Over his 19-year career in the NBA, Shaquille O'Neal was known for being a tough opponent on the basketball court. While Shaquille O'Neal is prominently known for his NBA career, he has always shown an interest in pursuing a career with the police. But you may not have known that the 7-foot Hall of Famer has been a police officer as well. Shaq served as a reserve police officer in Miami Beach, Golden Beach, and Doral, Florida, as well as Tempe, Arizona and Port of Los Angeles, California. During his tenure, Shaq worked primarily as a community liaison, serving as a role model for children. In 2005, O'Neal was named an honorary U.S. Deputy Marshal after he attended the Los Angeles County's Reserve Academy so he could work as a reserve officer with the Los Angeles Port Police. After his 2005 trade with Miami Heat, the four-time NBA champion once helped the authorities by trailing a suspect accused of assaulting a homosexual couple. O'Neal was at South Beach at 3 a.m. when he saw the man yell homophobic slurs at a couple before throwing a bottle and hitting them. O'Neal followed the man who fled in his car, flagging down an officer who eventually arrested the man. After this incident, O'Neal became an honorary Miami Beach police officer with a $1 annual salary. For this incident, "I don't want to be credited as an individual who does police work," O'Neal said in his statement. "I want to be credited as a Miami Beach police officer." He has also been a part of a raid in rural Virginia and is sworn as the sheriff's deputy in Jonesboro, Georgia. Last year, he was made an honorary deputy by the Broward County Sheriff's Office. And the superstar isn't going to stop there. Shaq plans to run for sheriff in 2020. He spoke about it during an interview with Business Insider and laid out his plan to work with a home security technology company Ring so he could raise awareness about protecting a home better during holidays. He then spoke about Henry County and wanting to run for the sheriff's position there as he went to a full-fledged police academy in LA. He wanted to bring back community policing and create a safe environment. The Hulk. As the Incredible Hulk, Lou Ferrigno brought the bad guys to book with his famous thunderclap, a signature superhero move as loud as a sonic boom or a hurricane. But the actor most famous for bringing the Marvel Comics legend to life in the long-running 1970s CBS television series will have to rely on more traditional crime-fighting tools in his latest role. As a sheriff's deputy in the New Mexico desert, Lou Ferrigno is best known for his role as Bruce Banner's big, green alter ego on the television series, The Incredible Hulk. Although the series ended in 1982, Ferrigno hasn't stopped taking bad guys down. Ferrigno transitioned into law enforcement, serving as reserve deputy in both San Luis Obispo and LA County Sheriff Departments. Ferrigno's father was a lieutenant with the New York Police Department and instilled a respect for law enforcement in his son from an early age. But if you think Ferrigno got special treatment because of his famous role, think again. The actor and former bodybuilder had to undergo a background check and training for first aid and firearms before earning his badge. In March of 2018, Ferrigno was sworn in as an honorary officer with the Irving, Texas Police Department. Erik Estrada. Erik Estrada doesn't patrol California highways in tight shorts and feathered hair as a police officer on television anymore. But that doesn't mean he is no longer a cop. The actor from Chips fame was sworn in as a reserve police officer in tiny St. Anthony, Idaho, on July 2, 2016, with a focus on protecting children from online predators. Estrada became a pop culture icon during the Chips heyday from 1977 to 1983, and now works as a spokesperson for the Safe Surfing Foundation. The organization looks to educate parents, teachers, clergy, and children about internet safety while working to track down online predators. Estrada was sworn in as a reserve officer in the town of 3500 by Mayor Niels Thewson after reaching out to the administration in the small town months earlier about the Safe Surfing Foundation. Ironically, St. Anthony Police Chief Terry Harris initially thought he was the target of an online hoax when he received the email from Estrada. Estrada grew up wanting to be a police officer but instead decided to play one on TV. The character has stuck with him over the years, as he reprised his role as California Highway Patrol motorcycle officer Frank Ponch Poncherello on today's Throwback Halloween special in 2013. This isn't the first real police department that Chip's star has joined, as he was made a full-time deputy sheriff in Bedford County, Virginia, in 2009 by Sheriff Mike Brown, who was the director of the Safe Surfing Foundation. In 2008, Estrada also worked as a reserve police officer in Muncie, Indiana, patrolling on the midnight shift 3 days a week. Dennis Farina. Dennis Farina, who died in 2013 at the age of 69 of a blood clot in his lung, had two distinct careers. He was a veteran Chicago police officer until a chance meeting with director Michael Mann, who was in the Windy City to make his first feature film, 1981 Steve, changed his career path. Farina joked that he blamed Mann for turning him into an actor. The two had a mutual friend, a retired cop, who was a writer on Thief, but he still did give up his day job as a cop. Mann gave him a guest starring role on his landmark NBC series Miami Vice and then cast him as FBI agent Jack Crawford in his 1986 thriller, Manhunter. It wasn't until he landed the starring role in Mann's atmospheric NBC detective series Crime Story in 1986, as Chicago Dad, Mike Torello, that Farina finally turned in his badge and retired from the police force. Eddie Money. He wrote 2 tickets to paradise, but he never wrote a traffic ticket. The NYPD cleared up the mystery of whether rocker Eddie Money was ever a cop, as he'd sometimes claimed. He wasn't, but the rocker was, briefly, a trainee. Eddie Money always knew he wanted to be a musician, but before he was known for his platinum-selling hits like Take Me Home Tonight and 2 Tickets to Paradise, the Brooklyn-born rocker was NYPD officer Edward Mahoney. Money comes from a long line of police officers. His grandfather, father, and one of his brothers all spent time on the police force. Although policing is in his family, Money left the force after 2 years to pursue his career in music. Over the years, the rocker, who was born Edward Mahoney in Brooklyn, has sometimes claimed in interviews that his first career was as a cop with the NYPD back in the late 60s or early 70s, but he'd also claimed he was a training dropout. Dean Cain. Calling Superman. St. Anthony, Idaho, needs you. A small town in East Idaho welcomed Dean Cain, who played Clark Kent in Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman, into its police force. Cain was sworn in as a reserve officer. Cain is the second celebrity to join the St. Anthony Police Department. He joins his good friend, Chips star Erik Estrada, who became a St. Anthony Police Reserve officer in 2016. Estrada was previously a deputy sheriff in Virginia and a reserve officer in Indiana. The two will work together on Estrada's All About Kids Task Force, which teaches youth how to be safe online. Chuck Norris. Carlos Chuck Norris was born March 10, 1940, in Ryan, Oklahoma. Norris enlisted in the Air Force in 1958 after graduating high school. He joined as an air policeman and hoped to train as security police. The Air Force stationed Norris at Osan Air Base in South Korea. It was there that a fellow airman gave him the nickname Chuck. Osan Air Base is also where Norris picked up his martial arts skills and earned a black belt in Tang Soo Do, a form of Korean karate. Norris trained with Grandmaster Ji Chul-shin, founder of the World Tang Soo Do Association, as well as Grandmaster Do Sik-mun. After his service in South Korea, Norris served at March Air Force Base, now March Air Reserve Base, in Riverside County, California. He continued to serve as an air policeman until his discharge from service in August 1962 at the rank of Airman First Class. Following his military service, Norris applied to be a police officer but ended up on the waiting list. While he waited, Norris decided to open a martial arts studio in his town of Torrance, California, which led to his opening a chain of studios. He started to enter martial arts competitions. After several years, he won his first World Middleweight Karate Championship title in 1968. Norris held the title of Karate World Champion for 6 consecutive years and retired after his victory in 1974. David Zayas. David Zayas has played characters on both sides of the law. He was inmate Enrique Morales on the HBO prison series, Oz, and Police Sergeant Angel Batista on Showtime's Dexter. But before he made his debut on screen, the Bronx native was an NYPD officer. As a child, Zayas saw the 1975 film Dog Day Afternoon starring Al Pacino and instantly knew he wanted to be an actor. But being raised in a blue-collar family, life had other plans for Zayas initially. After telling his father about his dreams of wanting to be an actor, Zayas remembered his reaction. He looked at me like I was thinking outside of the reality of where we were at. Out of respect for his father, Zayas put acting in the back of his head and didn't pursue it. Instead, Zayas joined the Air Force when he was 19 years old. Later, he joined the New York City Police Department at the height of the crack epidemic. After divorcing his first wife, Zayas made some changes in his life. He attended acting school while he was still a cop. Those acting courses allowed Zayas to realize his calling. Zayas also appeared in Law and Order 3 times, New York Undercover, NYPD Blue, Third Watch, and Martin Scorsese's Bringing Out the Dead. All of his experience in law enforcement, both on the streets of New York and on screen, would later lend themselves to Zayas' most notable role as Miami Metro detective turned Sergeant Angel Batista. J.W. Courts. J.W. Courts is a great actor, but his role as Detective Carlos Alvarez on Fox's Gotham wasn't much of a stretch. The Brooklyn-born actor worked as a police officer with the New York Metropolitan Transit Authority while starring on the show. Courts is also a Marine combat veteran who served in Iraq. Which of the Hollywood stars surprised you the most as a police officer? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.